The Dark Tetrad, how toxic people think. Manipulate and destroy you. You've met someone who makes you feel crazy. They twist your words. They deny things you know happened. They hurt you. Then act like you're the problem, and the worst part, you keep asking yourself, what did I do wrong? But here's what nobody tells you. The person hurting you isn't confused. They're not misunderstanding you. They're built different. Psychology has a name for this. It's called the Dark Tetrad, for personality. Traits that make someone dangerous, not in an obvious way. In a quiet, calculated way. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how their mind works, how they choose their targets, and why your empathy makes you the perfect victim. Because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. Let's start with the biggest mistake you're making right now. You think they're like you. You think if you just explain your pain clearly enough, they'll feel it. They'll stop. But here's the truth. Their brain doesn't work like yours. When you feel hurt, your brain lights up with emotion. You feel it in your chest, your stomach drops when they hurt you. Nothing. Their brain is wired to see you as a tool, not a person. This isn't an insult. It's biology. And it shows up in for specific ways. The first trait is narcissism. You've probably heard this word thrown around, but real narcissism isn't just ego. It's a fragile structure held together by your attention. They need you to see them as special, brilliant, different. And when you stop clapping, when you criticize them, even softly, the mask cracks. And underneath is pure rage. You've seen it. That sudden coldness, that scary shift. That's not anger, that's their brain protecting a false self-image. The second trait is Machiavellianism. These are the chess players. While a narcissist acts on impulse, a Machiavellian plans 6 moves ahead. They don't explode, they calculate. They'll smile at you today and destroy you 3 months from now. To them, lying isn't wrong. It's strategy. Morality is just a speed bump they drive around. If hurting you gets them closer to their goal, they'll do it without hesitation, and they'll sleep fine that night. The third trait is psychopathy. This one's different. It's not about planning, it's about impulse. Psychopaths don't feel fear the way you do. Brain scans show their fear center barely lights up, even in dangerous situations. So they take risks that would terrify you. They lie with a straight face. They hurt you and feel nothing, not because they're evil, but because their brain doesn't have the brakes yours does. And the fourth trait, this one's the darkest. It's called everyday sadism. Most people hurt others by accident or out of anger. Sadists hurt you because it feels good. Your pain releases dopamine in their brain. Like a reward, they don't need a reason to hurt you. Your suffering is the reason. That cruel comment they made, that public humiliation, that wasn't a mistake. It was the point. Now here's the question. Everyone asks, are they born this way or made? The answer is both. And that's what makes it so hard to accept. Some of these traits are genetic. Brain scans prove it. Psychopaths are often born with a smaller amygdala. That's the part of your brain that feels fear and guilt. They didn't choose to be fearless. They were wired that way from birth. But other traits, like Machiavellianism, are learned. Maybe they grew up in a cold home. Maybe trust got them hurt. So they learned that manipulation keeps them safe. Either way, by the time you meet them, the damage is done. Their personality is locked in, and it's not changing. So here's the trap. And this is where most people get stuck. You think, if they don't have empathy, how do they know exactly how to hurt me? Good question. Because they do have empathy, just not the kind you think. Empathy splits into 2 types. Cognitive empathy is understanding what someone feels, reading the room, predicting reactions. Effective empathy is actually feeling that emotion with them. Most people with Dark Tetrad traits have extremely high cognitive empathy. They read you like a book. They know your insecurities, your triggers, your weak spots. But they have zero effective empathy. They know you're in pain. They just don't feel it. Brain scans show something terrifying. Their empathy has an on-off switch, and they control it. During the love bombing phase, they flip it on. They mirror you. They seem perfect. Once you're hooked, they flip it off. Now they use their understanding of you not to connect, but to control. They know exactly what words will break you, and They say them anyway. This brings us to something uncomfortable, something you need to hear. They didn't choose you by accident. Predators don't hunt randomly, they scan for specific signals, and if you're empathetic, agreeable, and forgiving, you light up on their radar. They look for people who explain away bad behavior, who apologize when they shouldn't, who always see the good in others. If you're someone who hates conflict, who feels guilty setting boundaries, who gives endless second chances, you're the perfect target. They test you early, a small lie, a boundary push just to see if you'll hold the line. If you excuse it, if you rationalize it, you pass their test, and then the trap closes. Here's how they keep you stuck. It's called intermittent reinforcement, and it's the most addictive pattern in psychology. If they were cruel all the time, you'd leave, so they aren't. They give you moments of warmth, flashes of the person you fell for. Your brain becomes addicted to the unpredictability. You're constantly trying to win back the nice version, constantly walking on eggshells. This creates what's called a trauma bond. It's not love, it's addiction to the source of your pain. And once that bond forms, the real damage begins. Their main weapon, gaslighting. But gaslighting isn't just lying, it's deeper. It's the murder of your perspective. They deny events you know happened. They rearrange your memory. They tell you you're crazy to sensitive, imagining things over time. This does something physical to your brain. Chronic emotional abuse shrinks your hippocampus. That's the part that handles memory. It enlarges your amygdala. That keeps you in constant fight-or-flight mode, so you end up in permanent brain fog. You can't think clearly. You can't plan your escape. Your brain is literally working against you. Now, after hearing all this, you might feel something strange. Envy. You might think, I wish I could be that cold. I wish I could turn off my feelings and just win. I get it. Society romanticizes these traits. We see their confidence, their fearlessness, their success. It looks like a superpower, but here's what you're not seeing. They're not winning, they're disabled. Because of their brain chemistry, they're stuck on what's called a hedonic treadmill. They need bigger and bigger hits of stimulation just to feel anything, power, risk, conquest, but they're biologically blocked from the other side. They can't feel peace, they can't feel the quiet joy of trust, of connection. They live in a relationship desert. Every person is a transaction. They're never truly loved. Because to be loved, you have to be known, and they can never let anyone in. There's a phrase in psychology that describes them perfectly. They know the words, but not the music. So don't envy the machine. It runs fast, but it runs on empty. Now, what do you actually do with this information? I'm laying this out for a reason. You've been trying to fix this with warmth, with patience, with communication, but you can't use software to fix a hardware problem. You're playing for connection, they're playing for control. You're projecting your empathetic heart onto someone who doesn't have the hardware to receive it. Understanding this is the first step to breaking the spell. When you look at them now, switch your lens. Don't look with anger. Anger is still attachment. Look with clinical detachment. When they rage, see the narcissistic injury. When they lie, see the strategy. When they smile while hurting you, see the dopamine hit. Their behavior says nothing about your worth. It's simply what a machine built this way does. You were targeted not because you're weak, but because you're high value. You have the light they lack, but that light belongs to you. This video was just the diagnosis. We mapped the territory. If you suspect you're dealing with one of these types, I created something for you. It's a free manipulation pattern checklist based on clinical scales. It helps you spot the red flags objectively, so you can stop doubting yourself. Link is in the description. In the next video, I'll walk you through the psychological strategies that actually work, the gray rock method, how to break a trauma bond, how to protect your mind while you plan your exit. But for today, just breathe. You know the truth now, and the truth is the beginning of freedom. I'll see you in the next one.